We're going to be discussing the Creator Fund, the new and very live in product analytics, and some tips to help you guys grow. So, thought it made most sense. We'll start with a little background on the Creator Fund. The Creator Fund. So creators have traditionally monetized their content via direct sponsorships or direct community support. As we grow, we expect both of those to be opportunities Playback creators receive. However, we believe that isn't enough. Ultimately, the platform is only as important as its users, and no one drives users like creators who host. Because of this, we firmly believe it is important that you not only get compensated from your super fans or from a brand who might want to partner with you, but from the platform directly. And that's why we launched the Creator Fund. You put in a lot of time, you display your creativity, your enthusiasm, and that should be rewarded. So, as you guys all know, we announced a $2 million fund for all creators for this NBA season. And as we grow, we plan to announce a larger fund after the playoffs and for next season. Hopefully that announcement will coincide with the introduction of new content and product features that will enhance your streaming experience. The other thing the fund allows us to do is to budget out our spending. We are an early stage startup after all, and it allows us to incentivize specific behaviors we think are important for growth. Ultimately, Playback's growth is good for creators, so we want to make sure the fund is rewarding behaviors which incentivize growth. So to discuss that, I'm going to bring Brandon if you want to get into the incentives.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. So really at a high level, there are three real high level concepts that we want to incentivize. And these really haven't changed from the previous compensation model. But just to give you another overview of really what we're looking for from you all to help us grow as a platform, first and foremost is reach. So that's how many users you're bringing to your Playback room. So whether those are users that are already Playback users or new Playback users, we want to make sure you're retaining the users you already have, as well as bringing new users into your room. So we want to see those room membership numbers grow as high as they possibly can. So do remember to encourage those users that have not yet hit that big white join plus button for your room. Encourage them to go ahead and sign up for a Playback account and join your community. Next is we want to incentivize you guys for your depth of engagement with your users. So that's going to involve not only how long they're staying in your streams, but also how socially active they are. So do make sure to, keep your users active and chat with polls, make sure to respond to their chat messages. Feel free to invite them to the stage, have them request to come onto stage. We see the more socially active users are, the more they stay in your streams for a longer period of time. So definitely up that social engagement. And then finally, new Playback users. So this is how many first-time Playback users you're bringing to your room. And this is what we're going to incentivize most moving forward. So March 1 moving forward, we're really making a big push, and we need your guys' help to bring as many new users onto Playback as possible. So if that even means shoulder tapping someone that you think maybe hasn't heard of Playback yet and, sending them a room link and getting them into your room, we could really use your help in this regard. So let's all try and pull together to bring as many new users onto Playback as possible, and we will compensate you for doing so. If you guys end up having any questions about, any of this stuff as far as the compensation metrics go, I think at this point in time, most of you know how to reach me, but I will drop my email here in the room chat here in a second. Feel free to reach out to me at any point in time.
Shout out to Brandon for responding to a lot of emails about the Creator Fund. All right, we can go to the next slide here. So because the fund is so important to us and to what we're doing on Playback, and because we want you to understand how you're performing, we're going to integrate this into the product. And the most important part of this for us was for you to be able to have real-time feedback. As soon as you finish a stream, we want you to know how your stream performed, how many people you reached, the depth of engagement, if you're bringing new users, getting new room members. And then we also want you to see your earnings, not waiting until the next day or the end of the month to get some report on the earnings, but real-time earnings in the product. And so if anyone has streamed since, I believe it was Friday or over the weekend, you'll see analytics is now live. and you'll get that report immediately after ending your stream, and then you can jump in and look at all of your analytics over a time period. But let's show you what it looks like. So Leon from our design team is here to walk you through how this works.
Thanks, Kevin. Really excited to give a little demo into the analytics dashboard here. We know how important data assessment is as a startup here, so excited to get it readily available in all of your rooms. Hopefully give you a better sense of how your rooms are performing over time, so you can start to see trends and really judge events from each to see what's doing good and what's doing not, and adjust accordingly. But yeah, let me give you a little demo and walk through the functionality here. This will be available from your room menus right now. So you click on analytics, and then you'll have these different toggles for 30, 60, and 90 day time spans here. So you can see how the data kind of breaks down across each of these different time spans, and then how that affects each of the respective categories below. You'll also have different view modes here on the right side. So by default, you'll be in the daily view mode. You could switch to weekly to basically group those analytics together, and then also monthly. But yeah, just giving you different options to basically digest the information you're being presented here. And most importantly, you'll have the breakdown of each respective kind of metric here. So views by default, you'll have watch time. Each of these categories will be color coded, so you'll know when you're kind of switching context here. We have new members, and also, very important, estimated earnings. So again, yeah, getting a sense of how you're actually performing over time and what's working as you kind of host from each event to event. Along with this analytics kind of addition, we also have an event summary now, like Kevin mentioned. This is basically just being analytics for that particular event you just ended. So you'll have this kind of recap, and again, be able to just continually assess how you're kind of performing over time, and yeah, be able to kind of adjust accordingly, and yeah, keep the trends moving in the right direction.
Sweet. Thanks, Leon.
No problem.
And as I mentioned earlier, analytics are kind of the key to getting your room sponsored long term. So now you have easily verifiable exact numbers that you could take to a potential brand who might want to partner with you. We'll see who's the first person to sell their naming rights, right, Kevin?
Yeah, I would love to see. Is it going to be crypto.com, or who's going to buy the first room naming rights? JD has a question about filtering dates. We don't have a date filter yet. It's these presets 30, 60, 90, but we can look into adding that. Love to see the analytical creators. One other detail to call out is right now analytics are, because we know this data is sensitive, they are available to the person who created the room only. So it's not available to all your mods. And eventually this will be a configurable permission, but in the meantime, if you do have a co-host or anyone else you want to grant access to the analytics and earnings data, just let us know and we'll set them up. And then I think also worth mentioning that earnings are available to any creator. Once you hit 100 room members, you'll start earning. So yeah, it's open to anyone. Okay. I'm going to pass it off to Greer from our creator team, who's going to share some of the best practices we've been seeing recently, especially in using some of the new playback features.
Yep. What's up, everybody? So first, we're going to get into simulcast. We love the way that a lot of you have been using it so far. Simulcasting to YouTube, Instagram Live, Twitch, and X, formerly known as Twitter. But we definitely have some advice that we want to impart. One thing that we've seen be effective is people using simulcast to drive traffic from their other socials, which have thousands of followers, and using that for, let's say, 10, 15, 20 minutes, using both Playback and that other social platform live, and saying, okay, but in 15 minutes, we're live on both right now, but in 15 minutes, we're going to cut the feed to YouTube and be streaming exclusively on Playback for the remainder of the stream. And so I wanted to make sure that you all know that that's an effective way to drive traffic. And another thing that we've seen people do is do their pre-game or post-match pre-game or pre-match, a conversation on YouTube, for instance, and then say, okay, cut it here and now. For the actual game watch, we're switching to Playback. So if you still want to be a part of our community and interacting with our community today, Playback is a place to continue the party. So if you guys have any issues, simulcasting, need help finding your stream key and stuff like that, please reach out to us in Discord, and somebody on our team will be happy to assist you so that you can, spread your community and your streams as far as possible. Another
as
thing,
Greer mentioned, there's a lot of different ways to make simulcast work for you. Like people who do a lot of Twitter spaces will just simulcast to Twitter. I think a really cool example recently has been Stochastic, who does Live Before Lock on YouTube, which is right before the NBA games start. People are locking in their DFS picks, and they continue to simulcast that to YouTube while producing it on Playback. But once the NBA games start, then everybody moves over to Playback. So it's a great example of them using Playback to continue growing their YouTube channel and bringing more viewers over to Playback at the same time.
And I see that Cabby Sports asked about TikTok. That is a platform that we really want to test. So Cabby, it sounds like you're nominating yourself to help us test with TikTok. So we'll reach out to you in the DMs on Discord to set that up. But yeah, we'd also love to test simulcasting on TikTok. So if anyone else wants to offer up their TikTok following of 10,000 plus, because I think that's what you need to go live there, we'd love to see how it works and test it out. So thanks, Cabby, for the question.
Great question.
I don't believe.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead, Sam.
I was going to say, good question by Hoop Genius here. How many platforms can you simulcast at the same time? Kevin?
No limit right now. Yeah, so simulcast away, multicast to your heart's content. It looks like Nate is saying Kick is not working yet. So there are a couple of platforms that don't seem to be working quite yet. I think Instagram is the other one I've noticed. TikTok, we want to see if it works. So that's why we need some help testing it. But we will investigate and try to unlock every single platform that we can.
Nikias is asking, with the simulcast feature, Twitter and YouTube specifically, are those folks able to see what's shown on the screen, or would it just be the host? So if you're watching a game stream, yes, they see the host. They see what you kind of see in the pictures here, right? Which is like the game cast and then the creators large. And then if you're doing things like, I see in your room on Fridays, Nikias, you guys do the TikTok watch along, for instance. People on YouTube and Twitter would be able to see the videos that you're playing in your playback room.
Yeah, to clarify on that also, what people simulcasting see is the same thing that people without League Pass would see in your room if they're hanging out with you.
So, and to buy a little further, the two things that they're not going to see at your simulcast destination, they won't see an NBA League Pass broadcast if it's playing in your room, Nikias. They also won't see anything you're playing from the YouTube tool in the remote. Those are the two things that won't be sent to your simulcast destination.
Gifted asks about OBS or slobs, if that's how you say it. Right now you can use OBS with Playback as a camera source using the virtual camera feature of OBS. But we also would like to allow creators to use OBS as just kind of a general media source. So not for the stage, but for the main content. So we're planning to add support for adding basically a video capture device in the remote so that you can use OBS that way as well.
Okay. The next thing we want to talk about is live clipping, right? We love to see everything. The way you guys are using clips right now is incredible. So keep it up. But one thing that I wanted to call out was that for you guys who are live for, multiple games, it's super important to share a clip of your stream early in the process and let people know that you're still going to be live for the next couple hours watching and bouncing around multiple games. So Lo and Kevin O'Connor have been really good at that, using a clip to say, hey, it's the first quarter. But this is just the beginning of the night for us, and things are only getting started. So another thing is we've heard the calls for vertical clips, and that is also something that we're going to be working on here. So we know that formats are really important to creators who want to be active and who are active on platforms like Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok. And we hear you, so we're building that too.
Yeah. I just wanted to add as well with clips that, the nature of playback and how instant you're able to create these clips. Like you could be the first mover on a highlight. So yeah, just trying to be like timely, getting those clips out as quickly as possible, and just as often as possible. Like if you're making clips, we're able to see it as the playback team, and that's how we kind of build those mashups. So keep doing it so that we can kind of keep that train moving. We're really happy with where it's been so far.
I see Gifted asking about community clipping. That's something we definitely want to unlock. We've sort of heard from other streamers that the community is often mostly responsible for creating the clips. So we think because of the community nature of playback, that would translate pretty well here. Unless you have KB in your community. He's clipping everything. Yeah, mobile clipping support. Definitely would love to include that.
Yeah, the last thing to call out too, we're looking to get some more clips of kind of non-game events. So if you're doing a pregame show, if you have some daily fantasy sports picks, and you're making some clips, be sure to send them our way. We're looking to just collect a bunch of those and promote them more often, because that use case of pregame show, postgame show, live discussion has been really great so far, and we're trying to show everybody how good that can be.
Cool. Just a quick shout out to the work that the team is doing on safety and moderation. So as our platform grows and as your rooms grow, you get more viewers, more participation in chat. Sometimes things can get out of control, either because there's too many people talking or because there's a lot of internet wackos who love to come to new platforms that are starting to grow. We've definitely seen our fair share of that here. But the team is adding a lot of different capabilities on this front to make the community safer and give you more control over your community members and their participation. So one example is we're adding a slow mode feature. So if your chat gets crazy and you want to slow it down for a little bit, that will be an option that moderators can set. I think link embeds is another one. You may have noticed us making some updates around. I think we're still working on some things there, but effectively we'd like to give you the control to turn off embeds if you want, or maybe in the future you can choose who's able to share a GIF, so you don't have the wackos just posting GIFs. Timeouts is another one. Instead of banning somebody, maybe you just want to tell them to be quiet for a little bit, and they can still continue viewing. So having more flexibility there. We've noticed that impersonation is a big thing. People like to pretend that they're one of your mods or one of the creators. And because we just show display names right now, there's no unique identifier. So we'll be adding unique usernames. And there's probably more we can do there to help people build up a reputation, and just kind of verify that people are who they say they are. And I think last call out was a new moderator role is coming soon. So right now, when you make somebody a moderator, they kind of have a lot of capabilities of what they're able to do in your room. But we're going to add another level to that. So you can have people that are maybe moderating your chat, but can't start a stream or update your profile and things like that. And then ultimately, I think longer term, it'll be totally customizable. So you can have any kind of roles and permissions that you can imagine. Yeah, I think that covers most of the safety and moderation things in progress right now.
On to the questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I'll start with isolations. I saw Brandon answered it in the chat, but I feel like it's a good one for people to hear. Is a creator allowed to show G League games since it's on YouTube? Guess not, but just want to know. To be clear, anything that's on YouTube is free to stream and you don't need League Pass to show it. So if they're broadcasting free G League games, could be a high school game, could be Brandon and me playing checkers, doesn't matter. If it's free to stream, you can stream it.
We're putting our checkers matches behind the paywall, though, guys. don't schedule that.
Tic-tac-toe. Let's go. Player's Choice JD. Will there ever be VOD, so video on demand, available for viewers to watch past streams directly on Playback?
Yes. Yeah. We've almost built this a couple times recently and just haven't gotten around to it yet, but it's coming soon.
Any ETA on being able to stream other sports?
I think nothing to announce just yet, but there are a lot of active conversations that the team is in with other leagues and other media networks that we're really excited about. So we can't wait to announce some of those once they close.
No jinxing until the final documents are signed.
I think I've seen this question a couple times from Gifted, but back to this idea of being able to do a collab or joint stream with creators, like sort of the raid feature, I think.
Yeah, I think one thing that is interesting on that, Gifted, and I'm curious how you're thinking about it, is whether you would imagine that operating inside of one room, or if you would prefer to have multiple rooms running that are just kind of connected at the stage level or somehow like that. Or if you're thinking about something else entirely, definitely follow up with us and share what you're imagining.
Mateo asks, is there any plans to add a way for viewers to donate to creators?
Yeah, you may have seen some of the sneak peeks that the team leaked. I think Rob was posting some sneaks earlier about this. But we are planning some ability to basically feature a chat message where you could pay to have your chat message highlighted and get the creator's attention. But I think that's just one example of how we want to allow viewers to support creators. If there are other things where maybe you just want a pure tip and you don't even want somebody to purchase something specific or anything else you're thinking of, please let us know. But we have been starting to think more about direct monetization recently.
Great question from Cabby Sports. I'm planning to do a debate on Playback. Is the same money compensation if I'm not watching a game? Correct. All streams are compensated via the creator fund. We don't care if you're streaming Warriors versus Lakers or you're doing a live podcast or you're watching planes take off and land on YouTube. It doesn't matter what you're streaming, just so long as you're alive. Yeah.
Sam and I are into this LA Flights guy, so check him out on YouTube for sure. If anyone has contacts to him, we need to get him on Playback ASAP. A couple questions I saw around emotes. So Nate Stu asks, any custom emotes for our viewers? And I saw a previous question from someone who was asking about the ability to add more emojis.
Yeah. I think we need to still add the support for the full emoji keyboard, but I think custom emojis would be the logical next step.
KG Takes is asking, he's a developer and wants to develop a graphic software feature similar to sports broadcast show. Does Playback allow custom plugin integrations?
That's really cool. We don't have the ability to sort of build on top of the stream right now, but that's 100% where we want to take this and open up an ecosystem for other creators to build graphic capabilities or chat bots or just any ways to extend the platform. So if you could actually reach out to us, I'm going to share my email too. I'm Kevin at Playback. I would love to hear more about what you're thinking of doing, and we can plan for that.
KB asks a question for Brandon. How long does a viewer have to be in your chat for it to count as a view? I'm assuming you mean as a view as noted on the analytics dashboard.
Yeah, it's 30 seconds, KB.
It's on par with a YouTube or Twitch view, essentially.
Clipping after the stream. Right now, you can download the recording, but Cabby, I assume you're wondering about a similar kind of easy clipping feature or trimming feature like we have during live, but the ability to do that from a recording, I assume. Yeah, I think that's definitely something we want to, exactly. Yeah, we'll be adding that for sure.
Yeah, we actually have designs for that, and as well as clip trimming in product, which would be super useful. We have to. I think it's on the roadmap. I think we'll get to it soon.
Do you want to take the tax?
Yeah, taxable.
I'll take it.
Taxable income. Yeah, go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, so any community that earns, or I guess any individual that earns $600 or more throughout a calendar year that's based here domestically in the US, we will go ahead and issue you tax documentation the following year. So some of the creators that were with us this previous year can attest. We send you a setup through QuickBooks. You basically put in your information, and that allows us to issue you your tax documentation.
Shout out 1099 miscellaneous.
Exactly. And sorry to, put a jolt of fear in any of you that still haven't done your taxes yet.
Sun God asks about giveaways. Yes, right now we're actually helping some creators kind of do this more manually, like by sharing some of the data. Obviously, you can see who's viewing your stream in real time during the room, but it's sort of hard to get a report of that afterwards. So in the meantime, if you are running any giveaways and you need some reports to see who was viewing your stream or engaging, you can reach out to us and we'll help with that. But then ultimately, we want to make all that available to you in your room, maybe as part of the analytics, but maybe also come up with cool ways for people to enter a giveaway or to randomize the winner of a giveaway. So we've definitely seen creators get creative to implement this right now, and we want to productize it to make it easier.
Question from LC51. That's Leandro. Chatbot integration with Playback Chat. Any ideas on that, Kevin?
Yeah, I think similarly to the idea of building graphics capabilities, we also want to make chat extensible. We haven't offered a public API yet, but not because we don't want to. So reach out to us and tell us the use cases that you're interested in, and I think that will help give us some ammunition to prioritize releasing an API.
Cabby's question is about stream on OBS. Kevin, you sort of answered it earlier, but if you want to reiterate it.
Yeah, right now you can use OBS as the stage, but we also want to add the ability to use OBS as the main media source in the remote. So we'll be adding basically a camera capture source there, so you can use your virtual camera from OBS. And I think we'll probably be adding that soon, so stay tuned. But if there are other ways that you want to use OBS with Playback, we can work on that.
KG takes. What about streamers outside of the US? Is geolocation an issue in any way for anyone? So I guess there's sort of multiple answers to this. If you're doing a session that doesn't involve an NBA League Pass broadcast, the answer is just flat out no. It doesn't. Geolocation does not matter. Now, if you are watching an NBA broadcast, the creator themselves can be located in a geo-blocked area. That's fine. But the consideration is for your audience always. So if your audience is in a location where, you know, they can't get access to the particular stream that you're watching, they will be blacked out from that stream. And instead they'll get our game cast view of, you know, the team logos with the running score and running game clock.
No updates on MLB yet, but we hope to be able to share updates on that soon.
And we all agree, certainly, that a TV app is like basically a must, right? So yeah, stay tuned for that.
I really want a TV app.
Same. Jeremiah asks, would the number of people on stage increase or stay the same? I don't think I quite understand the question, if you can clarify.
Like if we're going to put a cap on how many stage participants you can have? No plans to right now. We kind of love these big stages. It's more fun party.
Yeah, invite as many people to stage as you want.
I agree with D-Jack on the cooking channel. If anyone knows a cooking creator, cooking community, let's get them. Not that I'm much of a cooking expert, but I'm just eager to see content outside of sports.
I've been trying to get my own sister to do something like that, and I still haven't been able to do it. So some sales guy I am, huh?
Playback.
Cook back.
You need to talk to one of her real fans, Brandon. That's the
I know, that's what it is. I need you to reach out to her, and that exactly. I'm gonna actually take you up on that.
Chef Dill.
Oh yeah, Mike, for sure. Like Bachelor, Bachelorette, MTV The Challenge, all that reality TV stuff also I think is a massive, massive opportunity for sure. Love is Blind, how could I forget? Yep.
My reunion going crazy on Playback.
Yeah, Cabby asked about uploading other than streaming. Yeah, I think a lot of the tools we're building could be used to just record, even if you're not streaming for a live audience. And when we have VODs available, people can just come and watch recordings. Maybe even clips could be surfaced afterwards. I assume you're maybe thinking of uploading something that you created elsewhere. We'll probably support that as well. But if we could help you create those things on Playback, we'll definitely try to help there if we can.
Cool.
This is a good question from Dill Picks Greens. Is it possible to clip just my camera footage for editing purposes? So I think really getting into like layouts and trimming maybe for clips here, Kevin.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of ways you could do it. If you are streaming and sharing media, check your stage recordings. We provide recordings in a few different formats, and one of them only shows the stage cameras. That's probably the best way to isolate that from any other media you're sharing. Or if you're just streaming by yourself and it's just camera only, reminder to use studio mode right now, which makes your camera take over the full screen and go landscape.
Mm-hmm.
Raids, yeah, raids have come up a lot recently, and we've been talking about it. Would definitely love to find a way to make raids work.
Mateo asks, any plans on adding channel points for viewers where they can exchange them for rewards? You will look to see us gamify Playback over time. I'll leave it at that for now.
Yeah, we love that. Anything we missed?
Streaming gaming content.
Great question.
Right. So yeah, in the near term, I think that will correspond with some of the things we brought up around a better OBS connection. We do see people streaming gaming right now through screen sharing or through our YouTube player. But if you want to capture system audio, if you're gaming on your computer or if you have a game displaying on your computer and it's not in the browser, that's not currently possible. But the OBS integration, like being able to add a camera capture to as a media source, would allow you to execute that. But then I think eventually we'll probably just build a desktop app so that you can capture system audio directly, just as you would in OBS. Question about private sessions. Right now, there's not a way to distinguish it on a per session basis. Currently, you can make your room private, which means that it's not discoverable in search or on the homepage for anyone who's not a room member or anyone you haven't shared your room link with. But in the future, we would love to give you that flexibility to decide maybe these members are able to join certain sessions, or these members are able to chat during certain sessions, and allow you to control the privacy or the access levels of each stream that you do.
Shimoma, as far as like pinned comments and chat, if you guys look to the right of your chat bar, you'll see like a little comment box with a lightning bolt. That's going to bring up all your chat apps. That's where you can see all active polls in the room, all the pinned messages in the room, and you can also access support chat from there. So yeah, he's talking about like inline, keeping pinned messages sort of at the top of chat versus chat being able to scroll past them.
Share screen from mobile would be cool. I like that. DJack, we haven't figured out exactly how we will monetize features on Playback yet. So no near-term adjustments to announce, but we'll definitely look to get feedback from the community when we start to think about that stuff. If you make your room private, people can find the room if you give them the room link. Maybe in the future we would have like a link that can only be used once, or ways to manage the privacy even further. But right now, if you have a private room, send them your room URL and they will be able to become members.
And you can always toggle it back onto public. But again, that's only going to make sure that folks in discovery can find the room. So if someone already has your room link and is already a room member, even if you make the room private, they'll still be able to head back into your room.
And as creators, you guys have the ability to make more than one room on Playback. So like a cheap way of doing it is like creating that room and sharing the URL with a very specific group of people. So it's not impossible, but yeah, you have to be able to trust those people that you share the link with.
Biggie Cart Pig. Go join Cart Pig's raves. He's doing them all the time. So if there are any ravers in the house,
Unz.
Cart Pig is your room for sure.
Yes, rated R movie. Yes, multi view would go crazy.
Yeah, I like it.
Cool, guys.
Yeah, currently you have to become a member of each room separately. But people have sort of raised the idea of making a network, because there are networks that operate on Playback effectively where we notice there's 4 or 5 or 6 rooms that all coordinate together. And maybe there's a way we could formalize that so that visitors of multiple rooms could see that connection. Okay. I think if anyone else has follow-up questions or follow-up feedback to share, definitely pop into our Discord and you can reach all of us there, or connect with other creators. Thanks, Brandon just shared the link there. But you can also DM us on Twitter or email us. We're always happy to hear from you.
Appreciate it, everyone.
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, y'all.